Initial Jinchūriki Form. When a Jinchuuriki first taps into the power of their tailed beast, something huge happens. They don't just get stronger, they change. This moment is called the Initial Jinchūriki Form, and it's like opening the first door into a world beyond human limits. Imagine being wrapped in a glowing red chakra, almost like blood. It's not just energy, it's the beast inside finally waking up after years of silence. At that point, everything changes. Their strength increases drastically. A single punch can suddenly send shockwaves flying, strong enough to blow enemies away and smash through anything around. Speed? It gets insanely fast, so fast that the human eye can't keep up. In battle, that gives a huge advantage. The enemy doesn't even realize what hit them until they're already on the ground. But maybe the craziest part is the healing. Even serious injuries can heal almost instantly, like time is moving backward. That's why Jinchuuriki are really hard to take down, especially in long fights. You can hurt them, sure, but they'll come back stronger every time. What's cool is that every Jinchuuriki uses this power differently. Naruto's form is super wild and emotional. His chakra bursts out from his anger and determination. Every punch he throws feels full of rage and heart. But Utakata, the host of the Six Tails, is totally different. He stays calm and controls his chakra precisely, but don't be fooled. He's just as deadly. You'll also see big changes in how they look. Naruto's eyes turn bright red, and his pupils become slits, like a real predator. His nails and teeth grow longer and sharper, like weapons. It's the clearest sign that the beast inside is starting to take over. That's what makes the initial form so special. It's about releasing that wild hidden side that we all have, the part we usually keep locked away. Interestingly, some Jinchuuriki can power up even before the full chakra cloak appears. For example, when Naruto fought Sasuke at the final valley, his eyes turned red and his senses got sharper before his full transformation. Even those small changes gave him a huge edge in the fight. Now, if you've made it this far, welcome to the amazing world of anime. This is the place for true fans like you, where we celebrate all the magic, action, and emotions anime brings to our lives. You've watched, you've felt the hype, you've been lost in these beautiful fantasy worlds, but, have you hit that subscribe button yet? Right now, almost 90% of you are watching without subscribing. Just imagine, if everyone hit sub, we could build one of the strongest anime communities out there. So, go ahead, click that subscribe button right now so you won't miss any new episodes, deep dive breakdowns, or awesome anime content coming your way. Thank you so much. Now next on the list, just a little bit higher, is Version 1. Version 1, also known as the Demon Fox Cloak, is where a Jinchuuriki truly starts to go wild. If the initial form is just the first awakening, then Version 1 is when the beast inside begins to fully show itself. Picture this, a bubbling red chakra cloak completely covering the Jinchuuriki's body. It looks like boiling water, but it's actually concentrated chakra that's super strong and super dangerous. This cloak doesn't just protect them, it can easily absorb powerful attacks and burn anyone who tries to touch it. It's both armor and weapon at the same time. But the wildest thing? The chakra tails. Each tail that appears means the Jinchuuriki is getting way stronger, like exponentially. Naruto in his initial form was strong enough to beat Haku, but when he reached 3 tails during his fight with Sasuke at the final valley, he almost completely destroyed the entire area. At that point, it wasn't even Naruto anymore. It was a wild, roaring beast, attacking everything in sight without holding back. Now, Killer Bee is totally different. With his red chakra cloak and those 2 crazy chakra horns on his head, he could defeat powerful Akatsuki members while rapping and fighting like a boss. His version 1 chakra could even stretch out into tentacle-like arms to grab enemies from far away and slam them like ragdolls. That's the difference between Naruto's raw, uncontrolled power and the calm, perfect control of a fully synced Jinchuuriki, like Killer Bee, But version 1 comes with a huge downside. This chakra is super toxic. It doesn't just burn enemies, it actually hurts the Jinchuuriki too. Naruto went through terrible pain every time he used it. His skin would rip open and blood would pour out. It was brutal. Everything changed when Naruto finally made peace with Kurama. His version 1 transformed, from a dangerous red cloak to a glowing golden one. It stopped hurting him. In fact, Kurama even let Naruto share this golden power with his teammates, boosting their strength as well. This was the moment when everything shifted, from conflict to teamwork, from destruction to creation. So in the end, real power isn't about forcing the beast inside to obey. It's about learning to work with it. That's the big difference between someone who only knows how to destroy and someone who can actually control their power to protect what truly matters. Version 2. Version 2 is easily the scariest stage of all. If version 1 is the beast waking up, then version 2 is when the tailed beast's chakra fully takes over, turning the Jinchuuriki into a terrifying hybrid monster. Imagine their body being completely covered by dark red chakra, almost black. It doesn't just wrap around them, it becomes their new skin. Their real body is like a skeleton inside, while this chakra armor acts like living, moving muscle. Strong like steel, but flexible like a creature. At this point, they're no longer human. They look like a mini version of the tailed beast itself, and they're absolutely terrifying. The power boost is massive. When Naruto first turned into his Four Tails form in front of Orochimaru, just the pressure from his energy cracked the ground around him. It was pure, uncontrolled destruction. He could smash Orochimaru and tear apart a huge part of the forest with almost no effort. But the scariest part is how much their body changes. Their muscles grow a lot, and they start to look just like their tailed beast, with horns, ears, tails, even thick armor. Killer Bee, for example, grows horns and becomes like a smaller version of the Eight Tails, Gyuki. Naruto's transformation is even crazier, with bones sticking out of his body, tails smashing wildly, and a face that barely looks human anymore. In this form, the Jinchuuriki becomes a living weapon. They can create chakra limbs, even bones made of chakra, to attack. Killer Bee once shaped his chakra into a massive bull's head during a lightning lariat attack that was strong enough to overpower Kasame. That's the perfect mix of beast power and battle skills. But version 2 comes with huge pain. Naruto completely lost control in this state, letting Kurama's hatred take over. He was ready to attack anyone, even people he cared about. The cloak became so dense and sharp it burned his skin, and his blood literally mixed with the chakra. Kurama kept healing the damage, but that constant destruction and regeneration slowly shortened Naruto's life. It was incredibly dangerous. Killer Bee, on the other hand, had a totally different experience. Because he was friends with Gyuki, he could consciously use version 2 with full control, even rapping while fighting. That's the big difference, getting controlled by your power versus mastering your power. Version 2 is the thin line between human and monster. It's the moment you have to ask yourself, will you let the beast take over? Or will you ride it like a boss? Partial transformation. You know, there comes a moment in every Jinchuuriki's life when they're no longer just a victim of the beast inside them. That's when they enter the stage called partial transformation, or as I like to call it, the awakening of those who carry monsters within. Unlike version 1 or version 2, where chakra covers the body like a glowing cloak, partial transformation is about true control. The Jinchuuriki doesn't just borrow the beast's chakra anymore. They can actually transform parts of their body into the real features of the tailed beast. This isn't some glowing aura or chakra smoke. This is real fur, real muscle, real bone. It's physical, it's solid, it's seriously powerful. And no one does it better than Killer Bee. He can grow tentacles just like Gyuki's, or turn one of his arms into a mini version of Gyuki's arm, all without affecting the rest of his body. Imagine that. In the middle of a fight, when your enemy thinks they've got the upper hand, boom, You grow a massive arm out of nowhere and slam them to the ground. It's a crazy strong surprise move, and only a true master of the beast within can pull that off. But then we have Gaara, who shows us a completely different approach. Instead of changing his body, he uses sand to recreate parts of Shukaku. The more sand covers him, the stronger and faster he becomes. And here's the wild part. Even after losing Shukaku, he still keeps this power. That's why so many people still think Gaara is a Jinchuuriki. Truly a freak, right? No beast inside, but still fighting like he's at his peak. Naruto's journey with partial transformation is also super interesting. Before he became friends with Kurama, he actually reached this state once, when he broke free from Pain's Chibaku Tensei. He almost fully transformed into Kurama. He was just one tail, a little fur, and some skin away from being completely taken over. If Kurama had fully come out, Naruto would have died, just like any Jinchuuriki dies when the beast is pulled out. But later, after they made peace, Naruto's transformations became way more controlled and much more elegant. Instead of turning into a full beast, he could just grow a tail or summon a Kurama head to attack quickly. That's real growth, using the beast as a tool instead of letting it control you. Partial transformation is the perfect balance, not too human, not fully beast. It's the moment you stop fighting the monster inside and start working with it. Tailed Beast Mode. Here it is, the ultimate goal every Jinchuuriki dreams of, Tailed Beast Mode. This isn't about being controlled by the beast inside. This is about becoming one with it. This is the moment where you truly prove you're not just a victim of fate. You're the master of overwhelming power. Now let's be clear. In theory, any Jinchuuriki can fully transform into their tailed beast. But that's super risky. If the seal breaks and you lose control, you will die. Tailed Beast Mode is the way to avoid that, by learning to work with the beast instead of fighting it. Killer Bee is the perfect example of how powerful this mode can be. He can fully transform into the massive Gyuki and cause so much destruction that the Hidden Cloud village literally banned him from using it. Just imagine being so strong your own village says, "Yeah, no, save that for the end of the world." That's what true power looks like. Yugito, on the other hand, shows a much more refined approach. She can transform into a smaller, precise version of Matatabi and control every move with ease. Meanwhile, Utakata needed help from Saiken in a dangerous moment to absorb the forbidden Tsuchigumo technique. Each Jinchuuriki has their own way of working with their beast, but then there's Naruto, and his story is totally different. At first, Kurama didn't trust him, so every time Naruto tried to transform, he'd end up with a small, awkward version that looked more funny than fearsome, and it wouldn't last long. Honestly, that was one of the lowest points for him as a Jinchuuriki, when the beast inside flat out rejected him. But then, everything changed. When Naruto finally earned Kurama's trust, his tailed beast mode became unique. Instead of fully becoming Kurama, Naruto created a giant chakra avatar, a glowing beast made of golden chakra. When combined with Sage Mode, it got even cooler. Glowing eye markings appeared, making the form look extremely powerful. And guess what? Gaara pulled off something totally different again. His tailed beast mode was made of sand, not chakra, and if he got knocked out, the form would break apart. Shukaku also needed time to fully power up whenever Gaara used the fake sleep technique, which meant no instant tailed beast bombs. But here's the best part of tailed beast mode. It's about connection. It's the moment where conflict turns into friendship. When Naruto and Kurama finally teamed up, when Bee and Yuki fought in perfect sync, everything changed in the Fourth Great Ninja War. The tailed beasts, once feared and hated, became trusted allies of humanity. Tailed beast mode is about accepting the beast inside, not as a monster, but as a real partner. A part of you. A source of strength that's finally in harmony with who you are. And this harmony? It's the key to unlocking even higher forms, where the limits of a normal Jinchuuriki are completely shattered. Ninetales Chakra Mode. This form is totally unique. Only Minato and Naruto have ever used it. When Naruto activates Ninetales Chakra mode, a glowing golden chakra covers his entire body. It gives him some super recognizable features: 6 Magatama marks around his neck and a swirl pattern on his stomach. And the power? Oh, it's absolutely insane. Naruto could literally punch a white Zetsu into pieces with just one hit. His speed got so crazy he could keep up with the Raikage, the man known as the fastest ninja in the world. That's not bragging. That's just facts. Once you've gained the beast's trust, your power has no limit. But what really makes this form special is how incredibly precise it is. Naruto could grow chakra arms from any part of his body. He could spin a Rasengan without using shadow clones. He could even sense negative emotions from far away. This kind of flexibility only comes when someone is seriously strong and deeply connected to their inner power. At first, this form had some limits. Kurama still didn't fully trust Naruto, so he couldn't use the full power of the Tailed Beast Bomb. But here's the cool part. Even with that restriction, Naruto was still strong enough to completely shift the balance of battle. And when they finally became friends, boom, the form evolved into full Kurama mode, complete with a flowing chakra cloak, sharp fox whisker marks, and the full destructive power of the Tailed Beast Bomb. Even Minato had his own version of this form. Watching both father and son fighting side by side, glowing in golden chakra, you really feel it. Real power doesn't just come from good genes. It comes from trust and teamwork. Ninetales Chakra mode is the perfect balance. It mixes the raw, crushing power of a tailed beast with the skill and speed of a human. It's the form that officially turned Naruto from just a ninja into a leader, into someone people could believe in. Ninetales Jinchuuriki. This is it, the absolute peak of power in the Naruto world. Becoming the Jinchuuriki of the Ten Tails isn't just a transformation. It's the moment a human completely breaks all limits and turns into a god. When Obito and Madara reached this stage, they weren't ninja anymore. They were gods walking on Earth. Let's talk about Obito first. The second he became the Ten Tails host, his body turned white, with black scale-like marks on one side. 10 chakra spikes grew from his back, and his back showed the Rinnegan symbol along with 6 Magatama marks. A clear sign that this was no normal power. Obito's strength in this form was insanely high. Even the strongest Hokage in history couldn't stop him. He easily shattered Hashirama's Sage Art, Gate of the Great God, and broke the 4 red Yang formation like it was made of paper. He floated with truth-seeking balls behind each hand, and he could fly, something most ninja could only dream about. But with this godly power came a heavy cost. At first, Obito could barely control it. He forgot his own name, and his body started to swell because he wasn't used to the massive chakra inside. Eventually, when he finally gained control, he transformed again. The spikes on his back wrapped around his neck like a crown. He grew 2 horns, and 8 truth-seeking balls floated behind him in a perfect ring. He even formed half of Hagoromo's staff, the symbol of the Sage of 6 Paths. At this point, Obito was no longer a host. He was the master of the Ten Tails. But if Obito was a cheat code that's still loading, then Madara was the fully unlocked, cracked version. Unlike Obito, Madara instantly took control of the Ten Tails' power. His skin turned gray, his hair became ashy brown, and his entire body was covered in a divine chakra cloak with the 6 paths markings. He didn't just float, he dominated. He could create 10 truth-seeking balls and fly freely, using the full power of the Sage of 6 Paths with complete confidence. And when Madara absorbed the Divine Tree's form and awakened the Rene Sharingan on his forehead, he officially broke the game. Infinite Tsukuyomi, a godlike jutsu that could trap the entire world in an eternal dream, made him completely unstoppable. Even Naruto and Sasuke, after receiving power-ups from Hagoromo himself, still struggled to keep up. Madara and Obito showed us one thing. When you truly master the ultimate power, you don't just break the limits, you break the rules of the game. This is the kind of power meant only for those who aren't afraid to be alone at the top. Because when you reach this level, there's no one else standing beside you. Barryon Mode. This is it, the most powerful form Naruto has ever used. Barryon Mode is not just another power-up. It's the moment when Naruto and Kurama decide to burn everything, their chakra, their energy, even their lives, to create a new, explosive power that goes beyond all known limits. It's like a nuclear reaction, but in the world of ninja. When Naruto activates Barryon Mode, his look changes dramatically. His hair stands up, he grows fox-like ears, and his whisker marks become thicker. His eyes glow with Kurama's fiery red. A bright orange chakra cloak wraps around him, with a black swirl in the center of his chest, and 9 flowing chakra tails spreading from behind. And the power? It's completely insane. Naruto effortlessly overpowers Ishiki Otsutsuki, a godlike enemy who even Sage of Six Paths Naruto and Rinnegan Sasuke struggled to fight. His speed is totally unreal, so fast that the human eye can't even track him. He even catches Ishiki's black rods before they have time to grow. But the scariest part isn't just speed or strength, it's the unique ability of this mode. Every time Naruto makes physical contact with the enemy, he drains their life force. Every single punch literally shortens the enemy's life. This isn't just fighting, it's erasing someone at the molecular level. And for the first time ever, Ishiki was afraid. An Otsutsuki who could destroy planets was terrified of this form. Because when you decide to burn everything, even yourself, to protect the people you love, there's no limit to what you can do. But ultimate power always comes with a heavy price. Barryon Mode completely burns out Kurama's chakra and life force. It leads to the heartbreaking moment where Naruto loses his best friend forever. The fox spirit who had been with him since the beginning, gone. This was the saddest goodbye in the entire series. From that day forward, Naruto had to walk his path without the beast inside him. But the story didn't end there. Kurama was reborn, this time inside Himawari, starting a brand new journey with a brand new partner. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.